Hello there, this is Jonathan with WP Sheet Editor Support. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want to show you the whole process for exporting Bbpress content into a new WordPress installation or migrating content, if you will. So for that, I have prepared this testing environment where I will be doing the transfer and I'll give you some details that might come handy in the process, and sometimes they are overlooked when doing the process. And if you have any questions at the end of the video, please let me know, and I'll be glad to help you. So here we are. Let's pretend that this is an old site, like the site 8 or the site where the data is coming from. And in this case, we are going to use our plugin to export that data. You might or might not have done the same process. You might have received the CSV file with the content from a different provider, or you exported it in a different way than we do in our plugin. So I'll get to those details in a moment. But for now, let's pretend that you are using our plugin. So here we are with the forums spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do first is click on export, and I'm going to click on select all. By the way, I have a test forum, a test forum here with all the information. So we're going to click on export, and we are going to make sure that we click on select all. And here we can just choose other. So what this is going to do is create a CSV file with the content and the data of the forum, and that is going to look like this. So this is the a CSV file exported from our plugin opened in Google Sheets. So the first step was the forums. Now we will move on with the topics. So we do the exact same process. Export, select all, and then other, and we are going to generate the CSV file. And that CSV file is going to look like this, which is for topics. All right. And then we go to the replies spreadsheet and we do the exact same process. We got to make sure that we are doing the exact same process for all three items so that we also get a CSV file like this and we get it on all of them. Now, what is important to have into consideration? So, the issue that most people have when they are doing this process is that when they get into their new site and they import all the data, they realize that for some reason the data is not linked. For example, topic is not linked to the forum, or the reply is not linked to the topic. So to prevent that, you have to make sure that on the CSV file, on the one for topics, on the one for topics specifically, you find this column called forum. Okay. So in the actual database of WordPress, what Bbpress does is that it stores the number of the value that is assigned to the test forum. So, for example, if I go to the WP editor here, you can see that there is a ID. There's an ID here. All right. And what usually WordPress does is, or well, not usually, but all of the time, what it does is that in this field, it saves that value, something like this. All right. But this is not useful. And I'm going to explain why when we get to the part of importing. So once again, on the topics one, you have to make sure that you have this column test forum or the forum, sorry, and that you have the name of the forum that this topic has been assigned to. Our plugin is designed to make it very user friendly, and it automatically exports the name of the forum. So you are not going to see like a number or something like that here. It is always going to be a name. And in the replies spreadsheet, you are going to see the same, but for the column discussion. So usually, again, WordPress or your CSV file might have a number like this, but it needs to be a name. and it needs to be the name of the topic. I'm going to explain why in a moment. So let's pretend that we already have the, well, not let's pretend, we actually have the forum data. You are obviously going to have more forums, or you might have more replies, or I'm sorry, more topics or more replies. But in this example, we are just doing one. So uh, I am now going to use this same site as testing for the import. So I'm just going to delete the values to make it as if we are doing it in a brand new import or in a brand new site. So right now, this has been cleared up, and I am going to follow the process that we do for import. So now we need to start with the forums themselves. So this is what I would like you to keep in mind. We're going to choose the file here. We're going to click on next. So since you are moving information from one site to the other, remember that in the second site, on site B, you are very likely not going to have the exact same fields that you have on the other site. What I mean by or what I'm trying to say is that when you load the CSV file, you are very likely going to see it like this. It is going to load like this, and you are going to see several columns that say ignore this column. Why? Because the plugin is not finding the corresponding field with the same name on the receiving site, okay, or the destination site. So you are very likely going to see it like this. But the one that matters the most is this one, parent. Okay. In this case, since we are moving just one forum and that forum doesn't have any child forums, this is going to be empty. All right. So we're going to click on next. And when I said this is going to be empty, I mean this field, by the way. You see the text, it says example, and there's nothing here because we have nothing on that. And I'm going to click on import all rows as new so that the plugin ignores the fact that there is an ID here. So when you have a new site, you don't want to put the ID of the old site because it is not possible to assign the ID of the old site to the new site. You cannot use the same ID. That is a limitation that we have due to the way that our plugin has been built. So keep that in mind. So that's why we are doing import all rows as new. We're going to click on next, and we are going to click on the previous find start import. So now you see that we have imported the forum and everything seems good. Then we move on to the topics spreadsheet, and we are going to do the exact same process. So I'm going, if you have, for example, your data in Google Sheets, you download that as a CSV file, and then you choose that here, CSV file from our computer, just a file here. And then once again, it is likely to show up like this. Like you are going to see from here and there some columns that say ignore this column. All right. So just to be clear, but the one that is important here is the one called forum. Okay. And as you can see, since our plugin exported the CSV file with the name of the forum rather than the ID, it is possible to import that into this new site. What would happen if we had the number there? It wouldn't be possible because in the old site you had an, for example, ID 123, and on the new site the ID might be 456. All right, so a number will not work. If you have a CSV file that doesn't have the name of the forum that it will be assigned to, and instead it has a number, then it is not going to work. Okay, because it is not, the plugin will not be able to match that to the test forum on this new site. So that's why we do it like this. So we have a name there, and we are going to choose import all rows as new. And now this topic has been assigned to the test forum. And as you can see here, I just opened the test topic in the editor. You can see that it is like this. It is assigned. If it shows like this, then it means that you did something wrong in the process, and you have to make sure that you do assign the correct name. And it doesn't have to be a number; it must be the name. So, moving on, we're going to do the replies now. We're going to take the replies from here, from or that reply from the CSV file. We're going to put it here. Again, it is likely to show some that say ignore column, but the one that is important here is the one that says discussion, and it is the same principle than with topics. It has to be the name, not the ID. All right, so click on next, import all rows as new, and then we have now created it. As you can see, I'm going to refresh the topic here, and now the reply shows. And if I go to the reply, there's the reply, the content, and there's the metadata of that reply. So this is the whole process that you need to follow in order to be able to import forums, topics, and replies to your new site. If you have any question or if you have any issues in any specific step of this process, please let me know and I'll be glad to address it. Just make sure that you have followed the exact same instructions that I did here, and you should be all right. All right, but if you have any questions, we'll be on the live chat or email. And I hope that you are able to import everything smoothly, and we'll be around if you need anything else. All right, have a good one.